super excited because Barbara is getting ready to share one of her superpowers with you. And it's just, I don't know how she does it. She makes it seem really simple. I could never do it.
I think you could. And the funny thing is, Janet, it's like, it goes back a long way. I always help friends with their resumes. And even my kids would come to me and go, Mom, would you help so-and-so with their resume? And now it's on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is such a powerful brand builder for everyone, whether you're looking for a job or whether you're an independent person or, whether you have clients, maybe you're a consultant or whatever. LinkedIn is so, so important. So when we thought about, what would be the most value to anyone who thinks about LinkedIn, and let's just say this, girls, we are so good about helping other people, but we don't stop and update our own LinkedIn. But if somebody said, hey, will you look at mine? Oh, sure, we'll stop and do that. So it's so important to do that same thing for ourselves. So let's jump in. The first one is, think about your LinkedIn profile from a complete stranger's perspective. Like, they don't know the acronyms for your industry. They don't even know your industry or whatever you've done in the past. So the first tip is to view your profile like a recruiter. So it could be a recruiter, it could be a client, it could be customers of yours, whoever you want to tell your story, view your profile like a recruiter who knows nothing about you or the industry you worked in or the roles you had. So you know that old saying that if you can write it so grandma understands it, do that. So assume nothing and explain everything. And so often we see just the title of the position and you have no idea what that position is. So explain your profile as if a recruiter was looking at it, a customer, or whoever you are, whoever your stakeholder is. Assume nothing and explain everything. So that's tip number one, view your profile like a recruiter. Tip number two, you want them to go, oh my goodness, she did so-and-so for that company. I want her to do that for our company. You want them to read your profile and say, oh my gosh, look at that. She had so much success. She overcame odds. She was juggling positions. She volunteered and she had this important role. Think of all of those things and paint the whole picture of who you are and get them to go, if she could do that for that company, that's what we need done for our company. So put it in that perspective. And it probably won't be targeted at any one individual or any industry or anything, but think of it in terms of just selling yourself from that perspective. If she did that for that company, I want her to do it for our company. So describe your measurable accomplishments, like use numbers in comparison. So if you maybe increase sales, say, I increased sales from 1.2 million to 1.7 million in 6 months, or I helped 33 people on board to our company, and after a year, all of them were still employed, or any kind of operational efficiency, we increase sales by a certain percentage, or anything that will help to put things in perspective. The company had 8,000 employees and I was responsible for 2,500 of them. So put things in perspective for the other person and don't assume that they even know what your company was or what they did. Certainly the company I worked for before, usually you say the name and you get that that dog, twisted head look. So think about it from that perspective. Put some context around everything that you put. So tell your story. The more key facts, the better. You want to get them to think that they want you to do what you've done in the past for the new company or for the new client, or if you're selling homes or whatever it could be. And the last tip.
Some just also some qualitative parts of that too. Like, I think that people underestimate that if they've done something, they think they can't put a number to. Like, I helped recruit XYZ many people, but to your point, Barbara, where you said that, you know, 98% of them stayed. Employee turnover is such a high cost for companies. Do you know, talk a little bit about what you did to engage those employees and keep them there, because that's the kind of stuff they're going to be looking for too.
Yeah, or if you started a project from scratch, or you brought an idea to your leadership that panned out to be, one of the key components of the company. So everything about you, innovation, sales, marketing, operational efficiency, think about it in those kind of general terms that can be applied somewhere else. So the last tip, Janet, is to maximize your real estate. You only get so much on LinkedIn, but at the same time, you get so much on LinkedIn. So use every section to your advantage. So think about it. A lot of times when we leave a company or even an industry, or we're thinking about moving on, we still kind of have our heads like in the brand of that company. So think about your headshot. Does it, in the background photo, so like on LinkedIn, you've got your little headshot, and then you've got that panel behind you that's really like 3/4 of the whole top. And a lot of people, that's all they see. What does that say about you? Is it a photo of you in action, maybe speaking? Is it a favorite hobby of yours? Something that helps to paint the picture. And you can also take that and put it in a tool that Janet and I use frequently called Canva, or another one. I've even done it in PowerPoint. And you can put words on it, right? That tell who you are and your successes. So use every bit to your advantage. And think about it in terms of your personal brand. We kind of have to get our heads out of like, I was with that company and that's what I'm known for, or in that industry, where so many times your skills can transfer to a whole nother industry. Now, right below your name is called the headline. And when you look at it, write your headline as the best summary, or as who you want to be known as. So instead of maybe just the title of director of sales for, whatever company, put there what some of your key skills are, what you really want to be known as, what your strengths are. And it has a character limit, but maximize it out. And keywords are a key component of this in the headline, in all of your text. And then last but not least, so powerful, is recommendations. So third-party endorsement, and don't be afraid to ask for them. And even when you ask for recommendations, you can go into LinkedIn and send it to somebody else and say, hey, will you give me a recommendation? And you can even say, I'm looking at roles that are in operations or human resources or whatever. And maybe ask them to say, when we worked together, or when I was your client, or when you were my client, could you share a little bit about whatever I did? So that they're each unique. And it's kind of an area too that you can give that back in return to make a recommendation. But even Janet and I recently were talking to a marketing firm. And so I went online to look at the leader of the firm, and she had like 24 recommendations. And she was so smart over the years, she kept asking for them as she went. And there's no way I could go, well, she's not worth her salt if because there's all these third-party endorsements. So think about it from that perspective. So we're going to have more tips like this in our future Wednesdays. So Janet, you want to tell them a little bit about how they can get this document for themselves?
Absolutely. So Mia is going to put a link in our comments section, and all you have to do is click on that link, and it's going to take you to a page. You just put in your name and your email address and hit the button, and it will automatically be there for you to download. And that's it. And so take a look for that. And then also take a look for an email that is going to go to your inbox too. That's a special thank you email from me in progress.